Welcome to the Lady Landlords podcast, where we empower women to gain financial independence through real estate investing. I'm your host, Becky Nova, founder of Lady Landlords. If you're ready to buy, manage, and grow your real estate portfolio, then let's get started. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Lady Landlords podcast. Today, if you are listening on the day we actually released this episode, it is July 4th. This is Independence Day in the United States, and I could not think of a better topic to discuss than the idea of really the freedom that real estate investing allows us. This is why so many of us women are looking to build our portfolios, are looking to have these rentals. It's not necessarily for the money. It's really for the freedom that the money allows us. I see this all the time with the women that I work with in the inner circle. They are coming to me because they are looking for ways that they can just maybe be a little bit more present with their children and be home when they get off the school bus every day. They're looking to retire their husbands from whatever their job might be. They're sometimes just looking to fit a little more time in their own life and have some choices. Two of the most popular topics that I always hear is when I ask women what they would do if they don't have to wake up to an alarm every day. One, I always hear that they would just be thrilled to be able to not have to get up to do anything that they don't necessarily want to do, that they would put themselves first, that they would be able to go to the gym, they would fit in yoga, meditation, running, whatever it may be. That's really a great way to start their day. And they would go for a really long walk with their dog. And I just think that's absolutely beautiful. All of those things that I just named are what life is about. We are very much in a culture of having to always figure out where we go from either work to then home to then work and then home. And it just ends up being this very cyclical pattern. I feel so many women just get stuck in this idea. And I get it. It's the way that it kind of works here. And it's the way that with just expenses and the things we have to pay for, we need that money to do it, right? I definitely fell in that. I was in that category where you had to grow up to go to school, to get a good job, so you could pay your bills, so you could just put it on repeat. And it became something that I completely felt myself, even early on in my 20s. I was like, this rat race thing really is just true. It's just a place where I feel like I'm not actually living, where I'm not really getting to enjoy all the things that life has to offer, because I'm too busy being stuck in the wheel rather than getting kind of off of it and really being able to kind of just stop that wheel and be able to enjoy it. So for me, when I came into real estate, to be honest, I completely thought about the money. I was just like, this would be great. I just want to be able to get out of a place of paying my bills and just living paycheck to paycheck. I live in New York. It was very expensive here. I hated the idea of buying a house and having a mortgage where then all I would be doing was having to be out of my house to go make money to pay that mortgage, to then have to come back to really just use my house that I'm working to pay for just to be able to sleep, to kind of just put that all on repeat. It just didn't seem like there was any time for me in there, any space for that, or for friends and family and for enjoyment and for experiences. Also, I am a huge avid for travel. And when I say travel, I don't just like to go away for like 4 or 5 days on a little break somewhere. Don't get me wrong, I'll take that. But for me, travel is really understanding another culture, understanding what it's like to live in a different place, the food, the housing, the shopping, the everything that goes around with that culture and the way that people really kind of just live in other societies. And to do that, I need actually months at a time to really be able to ingrain myself. That's still not even enough time to fully understand what else is kind of going on in the world out there, but kind of the best I've been able to do. So when I really came into real estate, I realized with our very first tenant, we actually started with a house hack in Westchester County, New York. And in that property, it was great because not only were we able to make a couple extra $100, but we were really able to live for free. So anybody in New York that can think about the idea of not having to pay to live, just imagine what that could really open up and what doors that can do for you. So when we were able to do that, I realized with that first tenant, I'm like, there's more than just the money to this. This really is a way that I can get back my time, that I can have those things back. And that was really why I went on such a tirade to be able to grow my portfolio as fast as we did. We ended up buying 10 properties in the first 3 years. We were able to create 10K months in that time. We've grown since then. And one of the main reasons why I fought so hard to grow that portfolio the way that I did was because I figured the faster I moved, the sooner I'd be able to get to the goals that I wanted that would allow me to do the things that I want in my life. We are not promised tomorrow. We are not given a schedule when it comes to that. So to me, I think it's really important to make sure that we're always living life to the fullest. And I just could not do that in a office working for somebody else. Um, so to me, what real estate has really given to me from a freedom perspective is it's been able to create work optional. For me, my background is actually in cancer research. I worked in clinical trials for about 15 years. And what I really love is that I don't actually have to do that anymore. I just don't. What's cool in my field is that there actually is a lot of contract work. So if there is a project that sounds interesting, appealing to me, and I so want to take it, and I feel that I can really make an impact in other people's lives by being a part of that work, I can say yes to it, but I don't have to. And if I don't like it, I don't have to stay. And having that realization and having that availability just absolutely completely changes every single other part of your life. It's gotten my husband to be work optional as well. With that, we have, I will never forget actually in 2020, as many other people did in March of 2020, my husband was laid off. His job was shut down due to the pandemic and he was really sent home. And I'll never forget, he actually came home and was just like, babe, like, I don't know what we're going to do. We lost an income stream. I'm not going to be bringing in any money. I can't work. What are we going to do? And it was a time when I actually got to explain to him, I'm like, honey, we don't need you to work. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, no, like our real estate portfolio by that point in time had actually covered what he was making. And I said, I was like, listen, like we're going to be fine. I'm like, this is actually why we need to buy more real estate. He thought I was nuts, as many people did for buying property in 2020. But that was really the impetus to when I started Lady Landlords, because I knew you were out there. I knew that there are other women out there like us that saw the opportunity within this. But that was really when I chose to start the community, just because I knew that this was a way that there were so many other women that were going through that situation, losing income streams, seeing what that was doing to their partner, knowing that they needed to be able to have that side hustle, take responsibility to bring in income rather than just relying on a corporate job, but really weren't necessarily sure on how to do that or where to go and where to really make money that will change not just you, but the next generations. And honestly, there's not a lot of other side hustles that can do that or really have that power as real estate investing does. So, with us now both being in a work optional position, one of the best things that that's allowed us to do is to really be able to travel a lot more. We split our time actually between New York and the Dominican Republic. So now I actually get to live in the Dominican Republic for half of the year. And that was something that was just so important for me. That is my husband's home country. That's where my in-laws are. I really wanted to make sure that we were able to spend a lot of time there so I can understand where my husband comes from, what the background's like, what his family's like, and really get to be a part of that. And in addition to that, we really are able to travel when we want. So we're able to go away for a month here, a month there, and be able to kind of travel and kind of have kind of no end date necessarily needed. I've never bought one-way flights before. Before, I feel like it was always, well, you need a round trip. Clearly, we're going to leave Friday night, Saturday morning, because I want to make the absolute fullest of it. And then I'm going to come back and I'm always trying to look for that flight that was like Sunday night, late, where I wouldn't be too late because I had to get to work Monday morning, but at least it was like late enough where I felt like I got the day in wherever I was. And now, honestly, I can't imagine even like living like that. When we're in the Dominican Republic, I meet people all the time that are just coming down for a long weekend for 4 or 5 days. And they always are kind of saying to me, like, oh, well, hey, it's going to end on Sunday. We all got to go home, back to reality. And I love being able to say, no, this is my reality. This is what I work towards. This is what I built. And you can too. And I feel like not as many other people see that. So what I'm going to do today, I know it's a holiday. And I know you all have very busy lives. So I'm going to give you just one quick thing that I want you to think about now. Here, July 4th, if you are somebody celebrating, happy Independence Day. But I want to just give you one quick thing that you'll be able to do today that's going to start to move you in the right direction to be able to having your own success story like I'm sharing today. And that is, I want you to just take 1 minute. 1 minute, you can set a timer, put that on your phone, set 1 minute, and I want you to just write down, it doesn't matter if it's paper, pen, write it in an email to yourself, put it in your notes on your phone. Just write down for a second what really freedom means to you. Okay. What are you looking for? For me, like I said, it's travel, right? That's what I want to be able to do. And I really want to be work optional. So that way I can just enjoy the things in my life. But I want you to think about what's important for you. One of the biggest mistakes I see that real estate investors make is they're always chasing other people's strategies. They're always saying, oh, well, this person said to be successful, do this. This person said to be successful doing this. But you know what? We are each our own people. And you have to know the destination that you need to get to in order to figure out how you're actually going to leave and how you're going to drive over there and do those things. You need that plan, but you need to know where you're actually trying to get to. So today, what I want you to do is just take 1 minute and just write down what that freedom is that you were looking for. Is it to be at home with your kids? Is it to retire your husband? Is it to retire yourself? Whatever that may be, put that down because I want you to be able to hold that vision there for you, as that's going to help now dictate your strategy. And we'll talk about that in a future episode today. Today, I want you to be able to move on with your day, but I want you to have just one quick thing that you know you did for yourself, for your family, and for your future. Okay. So if you chose to write that down, I'm actually making a post in Lady Landlords to really just share and inspire the other women that are there on what they chose to recognize as their freedom that they know that real estate can bring them. So make sure to head over, look for that post in Lady Landlords and share with the rest of the group. We're going to help hold you accountable, and we're going to talk about how we're now going to be able to take that freedom, that desire that you have, and build out that strategy around what you need to do, what you exactly need to do to be able to grow your portfolio. All right. So that is your homework for today. Thank you very much for joining me and listening to me here on July 4th. Happy Independence Day to those that are celebrating. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe to our channel here. We release new episodes every other Tuesday. And I would really just be like to work with you on what's coming next and how you can now make that freedom that you're looking for a reality by next July 4th. Let's set that as a goal. All right. See you all back in the Lady Landlords Facebook group. Have a very happy Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you're feeling stuck in your real estate journey, visit lady-landlords.com to book a one-on-one workshop with me. I'll help you determine your next best strategy. Or you could subscribe to our newsletter for exclusive tips and offers. Invest with confidence. Become a Lady Landlord today.